What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology, the Titans action, spawning in the bottom of the map in the red color, playing as Isis. His name is Joe. Joe's back. Yay! We love Joe. It's been a hot minute since I've watched a Joe game because he's been AWOL, but when he comes back, and we come and live the dream. His opponent today in the blue color, not as Poseidon in this venture as Zeus. His name is Matreiuss. The map is Savannah, it seems. And we have two of the greatest of all time. I'm going to go ahead and say it. These guys have had such amazing games in the past. Some crazy Ra versus Poseidon late game bonkers games, and I'm excited to see what is going to happen here, what Joe's got in store for Matreiuss, what Matreiuss has got in store for Joe. It is Isis versus Zeus, the classic matchup. This is a matchup that predates every other matchup as possibly the kind of the most played matchup of the early days in Age of Mythology, kind of 1.10, patch 1.10 of, patch 1.13 of vanilla being the last patch. Wait, 1.13, 1.10? The last patch of vanilla being that one, and then also the last patch of the Titans being 1.03, official patch, being that Isis versus Zeus. We had players like, we'll say AOM King versus Spoeft, Magyar versus King, so many kind of big Zeus names there in vanilla. And then we also had like Mr. versus Magyar, Mr. versus Magic is a big one, where Magic was a big Isis player playing, and Mr. was a big Zeus player. And then in recent years, we've also had people like Pegasus Rush going up against Joe, and a lot of very, very fun times in this matchup to be had, and it has been played to death, but that doesn't mean there can't not be new stuff being discovered here in these matchups, especially when you bring a Poseidon player to show how it's done. So we're seeing 2 villagers on wood, 3 villagers on gold, villagers moving all the way over to the giraffe here. This is fairly standard for a savannah. Big giraffe spawn, nice and juicy. Send all your villagers over here, live the dream. Joe, on the other hand, now, while he is an absolutely incredible Egyptian player, he's got the worst build orders you'll ever see. So never copy his build orders, but copy everything else. I argue that if Joe actually learned a couple of decent build orders, actually studied a little bit of the map and what build orders work for each map with his Egyptian, he would arguably be the best player of all time in a way. Just because I have no idea how he makes it work when he makes it work, because that's just Joe. Anyways, house is coming up. I actually wouldn't be surprised to see Joe going for Anubis here in this matchup, just because kind of forward gold mine, kind of open map. Those Anubites can be a little bit of a pestilence for a Zeus player, because they've got the slow Jason, the slow Odysseus to deal with him. But then again, maybe a delayed classical age into a relatively fast heroic age is going to be the way for Joe. Or alternatively, he might just grab this back town center at 2 town centers. He has seen his giraffe all the way over here. Going to be a little bit sad that he's probably not going to be able to gather from them, but he does have all these rhino in his main base here. As Matreiuss is going up through Hermes. A little bit surprised to see Hermes here. 9 times out of 10, we see Zeus players going Athena in this matchup. Athena is incredibly strong here, more so than Hermes. Hermes is more of a reactive god power, and you can't really react to Ancestors Eclipse because you can't cast Ceasefire, and then you cast Ceasefire after, but all your shit is dead, and you're sad. You see Jason picking up Harmonia's necklace. It's actually a really, really big relic for most civilizations, and you probably see the villagers. The villagers will increase their gold gather rate here. You can see they don't go to 9 gold where they normally would. They go straight to 10, which means we have effectively reduced our amount of animations from 6 to 5. So you do the math on how much faster those villagers are gathering than with pickaxe. and you will know the answers to all questions where that is concerned. Joe, on the other hand here, he is 60% of the way through Bast. Going to be doing his darnest to utilize the kind of delayed fast heroic, or kind of delayed classical age fast heroic. He's still got a lot of food in the bank here. So this is 100% a 1 town center fast heroic from Joe, which is absolute vintage Joe, vintage Isis to say the very least. And are we seeing a Jason coming through? This is the annoying part. This is the annoying part for Isis, is the early Jason, the early Odysseus. Something that we actually did see a long time ago from Isis players was actually an early 5 priest. And the thing that was good about it, and I actually think that it probably should see a little bit of a return to prominence on maps like this, where you actually spot where your opponent's food is. But you go out for a 430 or something and you make 5 priests, then you are not going to get too much pressure done by the Jason and by the Odysseus. Your priest pharaoh are going to be enough. You can heal them back up. All the good stuff can happen, as we do see that is 100% what's happening here. Khufu is going to be healthy, and then the priest buddy over here is also going to be healthy. Do we see an armory getting thrown down? Yes, we do. Matreiuss, on the other hand, is getting his back second town center. Obviously against, maybe not obviously, but against Isis, you do not want to get your forward town center. I'm surprised to see no bolt there onto that Sphinx, but you do not want to get your forward town center against Isis. It just gives them something to attack, and with their Answers Eclipse. Better is not to do that, as we are seeing the priest moving back. The village is moving back onto this gold over here. Joe going to be casting Prosperity. Does he have himself pickaxe? Yes, he does. And he is looking to go to the heroic cage. So you're looking to advance the heroic cage between kind of 7:30 and 8 minutes for a strong 1 town center timing push. So we'll see if that's what Joe's going for. It's looking like just about 8 minutes is his advance time here, as the armory is about to come up. There is some weird strategies which are involved around kind of a 7:30 or 7 minutes to 7:30 heroic age, immediate Ancestors Eclipse onto the opponent's economy into a 3 town center grab behind it when your opponent goes 2 town centers as an idea, but not necessarily the strongest. Definitely can work if you can get enough damage with your Ancestors Eclipse, but if your opponent sees it coming, you can be very sad. You see the Sphinx going to be taking down this wall over here in order to get into his opponent's base, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Ancestors Eclipse used in Matreiuss's base here nice and early, just based on the fact that it's a back town center. You're probably not going to get the best of timing attacks here. You see the Katoskopos here getting brought into safety there by making that wall into a gate, and we will be seeing the obelisk getting cleaned up over here. And Joe really has nowhere to click Ancestors just yet. I mean, he could click it over here. We'll see if he does. The Katoskopos is not going to be fast enough to take this obelisk down, it seems. 95%. And there will be a possible Ancestors Eclipse that goes down here. Doesn't want to? He doesn't want to. Okay. Fair enough. He can't see inside his opponent's base. It might be a waste. So moving up here, we do see the Migdol Stronghold. We see the siege works. Do we have double monument? Can't see the monuments. We've got 1 monument. We will be seeing that immediate bolt there onto the Scorpion Man as the priests over here trying to defend themselves as the Migdol Stronghold coming back up. And they will just simply jump into the Migdol Stronghold. Siege work's going to be following. Now, normally with these 1 town center Isis plays, you do want to get the monuments of the soldiers, the second monument, so that you can get a full wood-based army that is incredibly strong. That's Scorpion Men, Chariot Archer, Siege Towers. The idea being the Scorpion Men kind of snare the enemy units with its special ability. It's an area of effect special ability, so a lot of the units get snared, which allows the Chariot Archers to do their full DPS, not missing any damage, any arrows, because they're moving so slow. So it's really important to have those units, but we are going to be seeing an elephant here, even cavalry chariot archers coming through for Joe. He's just saying, I want everything, give it to me now. And now Matreiuss is going, well, better start getting those Hippocon out. as he's realizing, well, I'm going to have to defend somehow, some way here. More walls coming up as well for Matreiuss. Maybe double walling this location wouldn't be a bad idea, just in case this is the way that Joe decides to go through. These villagers over here enjoying their rhinoceros as well as this game is continuing. Wouldn't mind seeing like a bigger wall here if Matreiuss is going to build this to allow the villagers to retreat through it. The army now moving forward. We've got all the chariot archers. We've got the cavalry. We've got the war elephant. Looking like a very, very scary army here for Joe. And Joe is still only one town center though. So he's very low on the villager count. He's throwing a lot of villagers over onto wood, making cavalry chariot archers here for the time being, as well as siege towers, getting himself one Scorpion Man to go in with that Eclipse will help out a lot in the initial fight. 81 population for Joe. Matreiuss is at 90 population. As now the army for Joe making its way in here. So now, where is he gonna attack? Straight in onto this location here, it seems. Only one siege tower, as we do see an immediate ceasefire there from Matreiuss. I think that might have been a little bit early. Doesn't matter that much. He's a little bit scared. Obviously, you want to get the ceasefire off first, but if you only see one siege tower, you really shouldn't be that scared about an Ancestors. Just when you see 2, 3, 4 siege towers, 3 or 4 siege towers that you go, well, I really don't want that just yet. As we only see 2 here for Joe, it's kind of fine. You can kind of defend. It's not going to kill too many buildings, but now the third one comes out. Ancestors Eclipse is going to be very scary. Joe's at 105 pop. Matreiuss is at 100 pop. We're starting to see those houses coming down. Do we have an armory? Not just yet. We are seeing Olympic parentage, which I actually really, really love this technology, though I think you can get it in your temple. I don't know why Matreiuss is getting it in his town center, that he's denying villages from being built. I could be wrong about that. Could be wrong, but we'll see. See how it's going to go as the siege towers gearing up to push through this wall, and Joe can just take his time with the Ancestors as well. He doesn't have to spam click it out like normal. These villagers are here living the dream on this gold mine. Walls kind of going up everywhere for Matreiuss. So we're seeing a very defensive Matreiuss in this game against a very aggressive Joe, as Joe is now 118 of 118 population here. Ancestors Eclipse getting cast in the main base of Matreiuss here. Matreiuss's Odysseus in the back, Jason as well here, taking down these Ancestors very, very quickly. The siege towers need to get through here and start getting some damage. These Ancestors are actually getting cleaned up on the front here. Very, very nice that we don't see a whole bunch of military buildings for Matreiuss, actually. Only 3 or 4 stables. Stables that they've produced the Hippocon in the classical age are only 20 seconds for each Hippocon. So you do want multiple stables here in order to produce those. As the camera coming in, going to be able to trade their HP very nicely for dead Hippocon, as Matreiuss is at 102 population, 99 population. Joe still pushing forward, doing so much damage, able to take down all these buildings, these 4 siege towers. So absolutely key here. And I actually like that he's not tunnel visioning onto the town center here, because the villagers just pop through and take these siege towers down too easily. But if Joe can get himself enough siege towers, which he now has 5, take down all these stables, he can have a very nice time here. So Joe's at 118 population now. He's looking to get his town center up. This is a natural progression here, though. I actually think arguably in this specific situation, after all the damage has been done here, a mythic age on the back of this, if you actually look at how much resources Joe's got, he would be at 600 food, 600 gold-ish, and he would be able to get mythic age very shortly through Thoth, big meteor to make a big push through into Phoenix. I think that the push can keep coming here. I don't think Joe needs to back off anything and start spending resources on the town centers, but we'll see if it's going to work for Joe. He does still have a very, very scary army, and he is still simply just going after those high value military buildings, not wasting his time on a town center that is easily defendable. Now we see the Hippocon going after these siege towers. He does manage to take one down. Lots of DPS being thrown onto the Hippocons, 2 Hippocons falling there for the siege tower, but I guess a good trade nonetheless there for Matreiuss, as now the game can continue as Joe has not managed to kill Matreiuss, but he has done a lot of damage. And now Joe's going to actually go for the forward 3 town centers. He's got to be careful not to go for 4 town centers here. I've said it a million times, but if he does, it takes too long. Matreiuss will be able to get Hephaestus and probably be able to push back through, or even Hera as another option. As we now seeing the Hippocon making their way forward here. Jason and Odysseus in the back. They still have that Olympic parentage. They have it now. They had it before, and they will continue to have it. As that's how the game works. So you're going to be able to tank a lot of damage here. Nice micro there from Joe. Nice micro from Matreiuss to pull back, though. Nice micro from Matreiuss to pull back, though. There's the town center coming up for Joe as these chariot archers doing their thing as best as they possibly can. And Matreiuss not able to win that fight there as the town center does end up coming up. And Joe's going to be very happy about this. The question is, will Joe remember that he's got all of this hunt over here, or will he go into farms? That is the question. He is eating the food in the middle of the map, so I'm sure he will have some recollection that there is a whole bunch of food over here. And we don't see any attempt at securing any corners just yet. And I'm sure Matreiuss will be thinking about getting to the next age fairly soon. The big problem for Matreiuss is he has to farm here. And I'm going to say it until people actually start doing it. You see all these farms that are thrown up? These farms here are good. Like these ones here. These are good farms. Oop. Every other farm here is bad. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 farms here are bad. All you got to do is throw a granary up and it becomes good. Throw the granary up. It's worth it. You got 800 wood in the bank. You want more food? You're in the classical age. These farms are bad as well. I'm just saying this because I know that this is something that Age of Empires 2 players do incredibly well. Their farm placement is immaculate because they know. And we can be better. We can be better. Just saying. I want us to be better. As a community, we can take down the Age of Empires 2 people. Well, or at least we can exist. One of the two. Oh. Now we see Matreiuss making his way over here onto this large gold mine. We are still seeing Matreiuss still trying to make these fights work in the classical age. Forever and ever, medium Hippocon have not been it against the heroic age Egyptian army. You need to have heavy Hippocon before you start really wanting to engage this. And Matreiuss here, he's got the food now to advance, but he does not have the gold because he's having to continuously spam Hippocons. And he's not trading well here at all. We're now starting to see barracks getting thrown up. Nice walls getting thrown up by Matreiuss nonetheless behind here. But there is a real problem that is potentially going to happen here as, well, Matreiuss needs to secure this gold mine. This gold mine is about to expire. 1,000 gold. There is a gold mine over here. But Joe's going to have his sights on that somewhat. I'm still surprised to see this food not getting grabbed. Is Joe throwing farms? Oh, Joe's throwing farms up. No. Eat your giraffe, Joe. I guess it doesn't really matter. Like he's fine. He's fine. Sag. Anyways, I mean, Matreiuss is still struggling here because he's just producing these 20-second production Hippocon and not enough villagers on gold. Funnily enough, oh, he's searching. Got to search this corner. There has to be a gold mine over here, doesn't there? There absolutely has to be one. There's not a gold mine over here. It's absolute disaster for Matreiuss as he is searching his darnest for a stray gold mine in the corner. But he has not found a whole bunch of villagers falling there. And Matreiuss is in a very, very difficult spot now as his villagers are just, where can I go? What can I do? Maybe you can throw up a whole bunch of barracks back here, get ready for some sort of like raid onto this town center. Would be kind of cool. But now Joe can think about going Osiris here. He does have his market, and in classic Joe fashion, he's going to get this talent into here. But at this point, it doesn't really matter. He's got the gold control, so there's not really going to be that much of an issue of a Mythic Age to come through. Nice raids coming in by Matreiuss. Now this is something he definitely should be doing, and I'm loving seeing it there. A whole bunch of villagers are going to be falling. The army for Joe comes in to defend this one. But really, all Joe needs to do is send his Scorpion Men after this, and he's going to be able to kind of defend those raids a little bit. We are seeing the villagers coming over here. The walls getting thrown up. Villagers returning back onto this location. The walls have come back up for Matreiuss. Now we just see the walls coming through here as these Hippocon get denied. Do we have Crenellations? Crenellations is on the way. Joe knows. This is what makes Joe good. He doesn't forget those really, really strong upgrades. As we see the walls getting taken down over here, and Joe gonna slowly but surely make his way forward here as Jason and Odysseus trying to lead the Greek army to victory, but it's a difficult one. 172 population to 130 population. We are seeing Apollo coming through. Matreiuss is very, very aware that the only real option he has here is to fight where his opponent is weakest. And the only way to do that is going to be to somehow, some way, get a big underworld onto this back town center and take it down. So one option here, which might be the actual best option for Matreiuss, would be a villager rush. I say rush with quotation marks here, on this back town center. So you send everything forward and you try and take the town center down. You take it for yourself. You get your upgrades. You live the dream. And that, to me, is the only real way here for Matreiuss out of the mess that he is currently in. Whether or not it would work remains to be seen. And we'll see if that's something which Matreiuss is going to even think to do here. But he has brought his Hippocon back. And the reason why we can say that this is a potential possibility is because we kind of know that Joe doesn't have any upgrades on his town center. No fortified town centers, no masons, meaning the town center will fall relatively quickly. But there is no ceasefire either, so you have to get the town center up quickly after it, so it needs to go down fast. But now we can see Joe says, I don't care, I'm going after you. You're going to be taking a whole bunch of damage here, no matter what. And effectively right now, Matreiuss needs infantry to deal with this army, but he's not got it, and he's making Toxotes. And I don't know if you guys know too much about this, but I actually think that Toxotes are one of the units, and archers in general, are one of the units you don't want to build against Egyptian. Even if your opponent is making Spearman Axemen, you still don't really want to be making Toxotes. It's better to just go Hippocon Hoplite against that sort of an army. And it's very difficult for an Egyptian player to really deal with that, unless, well, I mean, there are compositions which can deal with, like Spearman Axemen, for example. If you micro, you can win, but so too if the Zeus player micros, they can win. So you see the Chariot Archers spotting this gold mine over here. Matreiuss obviously didn't really want to go for this gold mine as he realizes that this is a possibility, but the Hippocon coming through now. We have the heavy Hippocon, which is now going to start being a little bit scary. These Hippocon over here hitting this gold mine. Joe is going through Osiris now. Fortified town centers coming in, so any sort of timing window which Matreiuss is trying to hit is going to be getting removed. And we are seeing Hera as the god of choice. No, Hephaestus is the god of choice. Hera as the god of choice on the top town center instead of the middle town center, just in case he loses it here. This Chariot Archers able to defend this position, and I'm sure that Joe's economy here is going to be able to support everything he needs to. We do see some army coming up to the top corner of the map as Joe is like, I want to get myself a market somewhere and start my trade route, but not happening just yet. Pharaoh over here, ready to get that Son of Osiris clicked on him. We don't have City of the Dead just yet, but he can get it a little bit later if he so chooses. City of the Dead being that technology which gives your Son of Osiris and Pharaoh more HP. There you go. Yeah, heavy Hippocon coming through. We just see a big underworld passage onto this location. I'm a bit surprised. I think there was obviously only one play for this underworld, and Matreiuss doesn't go for it. as he's in a difficult position. He's got Hera, so he can cast that, but there are these siege towers still remaining, and the siege towers, if you can just garrison all of your human units into the siege towers, then Lightning Storm doesn't really do all too much. And the fact of the matter really is that Joe's split his army up quite nicely here. We've got 103 population for Matreiuss to Joe's 160 of 192 population. Lots of resources in the bank, though, as the army is still getting reduced very, very quickly. The siege tower is able to come in onto this underworld passage as well to clean it up, as Joe's going to continue in this game being very, very much alive and well. Hera coming through. Will we see any attempted garrison here from the Son of Osiris? Doesn't look like it. Villagers coming through as well. All of these spearmen will end up falling, it seems. Just garrisoning bloody siege towers. Doesn't really matter. Son of Osiris didn't actually end up taking all too much damage in the end of the day. Joe 144 population. Matreiuss is 103. 107 population, still producing some more units. We see this army here from Joe coming in, checking out this gold mine. Obviously, this is the only gold mine remaining for Matreiuss, and it has just expired now. As Joe going to come forward, sees all these villages, and in that moment, Matreiuss realizes no gold, no hope in this game, and Joe gets the dub, utilizing the Isis fast heroic as we know and love it, with a very strong timing push, not really overcommitting on the timing push, which we see a lot of the time by Isis players. He just did his damage, he got out, he took the map control, he took the middle town center, he took this town center, he started to boom, he got it all together, he held off all of the pressure that Matreiuss that put on him. Now, I will argue that generally speaking, if a Zeus player, after the initial push, just kind of gets army and kind of sits back until he has heavy Hippocon, that's going to be a much easier time and a better time for him to start forcing fights than what Matreiuss did in this game, utilizing his medium Hippocon with Spirited Charge. Spirited Charge is great and all in this matchup, but you definitely want to be waiting for that heavy Hippocon against the the heroic age army of the Isis. And the big thing is, when your opponent gets the town centers after that push, that they don't have the economy to support the 3 town center boom and pushing their army in. Or with whatever that's going to cost them extra. So they don't want to do that in general. So you've got that time to get heroic age. Finally, I mean, when you're in this position, you have to go for something drastic. I think that there is a world here where a villager push onto this town center when the army was kind of here could have been enough to take it down, and you return back home in order to defend. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know, but game is done. Joe wins, Matreiuss loses. If you guys enjoyed this game, please consider hitting the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next game.